Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we are starting a new reading vlog, reading my most anticipated releases of, not of the year, but kind of. One of these books, the first book in this video, I have been looking forward to so much since last year, and I'm so happy it's finally come out. I got it, I pre-ordered it and it came a couple days ago. And the book is Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I don't know what it is about the series, okay? It just grabs me. I'm dying for the villain and for Evie to get together. Okay, I could have probably reread the first two books in the series. I can't be bothered to now. I'm just gonna get straight into this final book. This is the first book we're gonna be reading. Yeah, we're reading anticipated new releases. So we've got 3 books, potentially a 4th, that I really was looking forward to releasing this last couple months. Okay, it's August as I'm filming it. June is the earliest one of these came out, so the last 2 months. We're starting with this one. It came out like a couple of days ago. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. Okay, it's Friday. I introed this video on Tuesday, and I am only 78 pages through this book. I've read 20 pages a day roughly. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I haven't read a single thing so far today because I was at work, and okay, today was exciting. Okay, I got a new camera and it's so tiny. Look at it. It's the Insta360 Go 3S. So this one is basically gonna up my vlog game. So now whenever I do bookstore vlogs, I've got no excuse for the vlog part to be so short because I'm awkward and scared to film in public because this is so cute. And this comes out. This comes out. So technically all I need to do, that was my chair. All I need to do is put this on a shelf, and then I can start recording with this bit and I can see what's happening. And like no one's gonna notice that. It's so cute. I'm so happy I've got it. Okay, anyway. So I've been playing around with the settings. I've been playing Animal Crossing a lot lately. Okay, I'm trying to redesign my island. So I haven't read a whole lot. Also, this font is absolutely tiny. So I'm not reading at my regular reading speed, which is fine because I'm just enjoying reading it. I'm not really that bothered by feeling like I need to read it really fast. It's been a slow start so far, but I'm just enjoying the vibes of being back in this world. It's just really cozy. I love it. It's just an office environment in a cozy fantasy world with a villain. And it's so funny. I don't know what it is. I'm loving it. I would like something to happen soon though. Like we've spent the whole 70 plus pages so far just in the castle. And I feel like we've got things to be doing. So let's get doing them. Do you know what I mean? So that's all I've got to say so far, because like I say, haven't read a lot in one go, so I feel like I don't know what's happened because I've only read a little bit at a time. But every time I am reading it, I am enjoying the act of reading it. It's just, I've not felt well this week. Chronic fatigue is kicking my butt once again. So I haven't read a whole lot, and like I say, I've been playing some Animal Crossing lately. So that's taking up time with my evenings, being at work. But we've got a long weekend now. We've got the final bank holiday of the year, not counting Christmas. So hopefully I can get this book finished, and hopefully I can get the next book finished this weekend too. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm now going to turn in for the night because it's 9:30 and I've not done any reading yet. So hopefully I can get another 20 pages by tonight, and then tomorrow we can just finish it, fingers crossed. Because I want to just sit down and read it. I want to find time to sit down and just read it. Okay, so I've definitely not finished the book today like I said I wanted to do. It's 10:20. I'm probably going to read a couple more chapters before I go to bed, but we're on chapter 51, 207 pages in, so I still have about 150-ish pages left. That's definitely not getting finished today. I feel like I'm reading it quicker now, but a lot of the chapters are short, like a couple pages each, and we keep flitting from different point of views. We're not just in Evie's point of view. We've got Evie, the villain, Kingsley, Claire, Blade. We've had quite a few different points of view. I will say, listen, I do love a slow burn, don't get me wrong. Am I amused by all the like will they won't they that is currently going on between Evie and the villain? Yes, however, it's now getting to a point where it's annoying that every time he makes it very clear that he very much does want her, but for whatever reason is going on at that time, nothing can really happen. Every time he then, like, something comes out wrong and he, like, dismisses her or whatever, she's like, oh, maybe he doesn't want me. And then she gets, like, embarrassed and unsure of herself. And I'm like, babe, we know he does. We know. This has been proven. Man literally struggles to exist around you. And you love taunting him about that. So why are you getting all insecure about it? Like, it's just annoying. He'll be like, yeah, he loves me. And then be like, oh, he doesn't. It's just, yeah, that's getting very repetitive. But it's also getting very repetitive that I feel like they're going to get together in the epilogue, maybe. Or like one of the last few chapters. It'll be and they lived happily ever after. And we won't get anything of any merit of them together. That's what I'm expecting. And I really hope I'm wrong. But I am still enjoying the book. It is a fun book. It's definitely my kind of humour. It's quite funny in that, like, it's just in a stupid way. But yeah, the romance isn't satisfying me. And I can't decide if this is meant to be YA or adult, because there's like definitely some adult, I can't say it's adult conversation because it's handled far too immaturely for that. But it's like an immature take on a more like titillating conversation. So I can't decide what age bracket this is meant to land in, and if we do get together in a reasonable amount of time in this book, is there going to be a smut scene? Is it going to be closed door? I don't know. It's weirdly innocent while constantly bringing up like sexual undertones, sexual jokes, innuendo. This has to be finished tomorrow. I've been reading it since Tuesday. I cannot spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can't spend 6 days on a book that's less than 400 pages long. That's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with me this month. It's taking me at least 5 days to read a book. This is only the 6th book I've read this month, and it's the 23rd. I was going to originally do this as a 24-hour readathon. I just knew I wasn't not going to be reading for 24 hours this weekend. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. Anyway. Okay, I finished Accomplice to the Villain last night, and I think... I don't actually know what my other ones were. Let me have a look. Okay, I gave both the first two a 4 stars. I don't know if this is a 4 stars. I'm going to give it a 3.75. I think I preferred the first two more. There's a lot I want to say about this book, but I'm not going to because I don't want to make this a spoiler reading vlog. I will say that ending had me... Well, I mean, I posted it. This is how the ending had me.
Because nobody admits anything they've done! Living off a coffee from a pot none of you want to touch! You're the fucking dog! What do you want me to do?
I'm a little bit confused. I have some questions, and I'm gonna leave that at that. The romance was really dragged out a lot, and we did get what we wanted by the end of the book. It's just for 3 books, for it to take nearly the whole duration for them to get together. It's a lot, especially because it wasn't even a will they won't they. It was just the reasoning behind it made like not no sense. It was just very repetitive, and it was beating a dead horse at that point, where it was a constant point of I want him. He's like, I also want you, and then she's like, I don't think he wants me, and he's like, we can't, and it just that was constant. I did really enjoy it though. It took me so long to read this. I think I read most of it yesterday. I read like 150 pages yesterday, about 100-ish the day before. I did enjoy it. I just think it didn't fully meet the expectations I wanted from this book. But I did really enjoy it. I love this world. I love this. I love everything about this series. And the feeling it gives you. And it's so funny. It's really just my humour. So yeah, I'm giving it a 3.75 because it didn't quite live up to the hype I wanted it to. And I think I prefer the first two a tiny bit more. I currently feel very dehydrated, very tired and drained. So I'm gonna have a very chill rest of the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock on the dot. And we are gonna start Bury Our Bones, The Midnight Style by V.E. Schwab. I am so excited for this book. So excited. It is a big old boy. It's 530 odd pages. I would like to have this book finished by tomorrow. If it's not, that's fine. I have just, there was darkness on the pages and I've opened it and there's Charlotte. Is one of the characters called Charlotte? I love that. Do I get to be a toxic lesbian vampire? Because I'm all for that. Anyway, we're gonna get into this book. I'm very excited. Fingers crossed I can get a decent chunk read today. I'm just over 40 pages in and so far I'm really enjoying this. It's funny. So far we've met 3 of the girls. We've met Maria, Alice and Lottie. Maria's chapter felt like the beginning of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue in the way that she was like, I don't want to marry. Even though in Maria's case, she's kind of going along with it, but maybe it's not that I don't want to marry, it's that I want more for myself. I want to see more. I don't want to stay in this small town. I don't want to be held back by a husband and children, and she just wants more. So Maria's want for more reminds me of Addie, but Lottie's the way Lottie romanticizes her encounters with people, well, with women, that reminds me of Addie as well. Yeah, I have annotated a couple bits because her writing feels so much more poetic in this book than, because the only book I've read by V.E. Schwab is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So that's the only book I can compare to. And I'm not comparing necessarily because they're 2 different stories completely. It's almost like the writing style is changing ever so slightly between the points of view. Maria's feels a little bit more direct, and I think it's almost their worldview influences the writing style. So because Maria is more direct and more harsh, I think harsh is the only way I can describe it. Maybe it's not the best word, but it's the only one that's coming to mind at the moment. Where there's nothing wrong with Maria. She's not a mean person. She's not a bad spirit person. But I mean, she's got an agenda and she is quite pessimistic about certain things. And I think she's got a certain type of outlook. That means the writing style in her chapter felt a little bit more direct. Whereas with Alice and with Lottie, it was a little bit more flowery, a little bit more poetic, which I have really enjoyed, which is why that's the bits I've annotated. And just their encounter feels very very romanticized. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying it so far. I'm trying to, I am reading it a little bit slowly. I just want to take it in. And that's fine if I'm reading it slowly. So yeah, I thought I would just let you know my thoughts so far, because it is reminding me in a few ways about Addie LaRue, and that was the first book I read this year that was a 5 stars, and it's really the only book this year that's stayed with me in such a way. So I'm not mad in the slightest that it's reminding me of Addie LaRue, because I'm hoping this book feels the same to me. Okay, I could have filmed this clip when I still had makeup on. but I decided to take my makeup off and I haven't filmed yet. So it's 9:30. I've read about 80 pages today, and when I say read, I do mean I listened to a good chunk. I can't tell you what chapter I'm on because the way that the book is set out is you'd be in like a character's point of view, and then they have their chapters, and then it changes point of view, then it starts from chapter 1 again. So I don't know what chapter I'm on at all actually, but Spotify can tell me how far through I am. Oh, I'm like 39% through my thoughts so far. I really am looking forward to Charlotte's point of view. We haven't had it yet. We've mainly had Maria and Alice, but we've seen Charlotte as Lottie in Alice's point of view. And I'm really looking forward to learning more about her. I'm feeling really bad for Alice right now. Like, okay, what sold me on this book, I don't know why I'm showing it like this when you can't see what it is. Let's just put it down. What really sold me on the book is that it's toxic lesbian vampires. Okay, that's such a good hook for a book. And that rhymed and that was not deliberate. And it just really intrigued me. And so far the toxicity is really coming from Maria, but also she's similar to Addie LaRue in that she was born in a time where the life that would be forced upon them, that was expected of them, to marry a man, be a good obedient wife, give him kids, all that kind of stuff, she just did not want that. Probably because she's a lesbian, but also she just didn't want that. I feel like there would have been loads of women in that time that didn't want that. And a lot of those women probably just had like grin and beared it and just had that life and dealt with it. And then you've got women like Addie and like Maria who go nuclear on their life instead. And Addie was a much less toxic character than Maria is. Maria is so toxic. I don't even know, but I do like her. I'm rooting for her. But wow. And then we've got Lottie, or Charlotte, who we don't know much about her yet. We haven't really had her, we've had one instance in her point of view, and it didn't allude to something that had happened, which makes her an asshole if she knows about it, but I have a feeling she hasn't realised what's happened. And then you've got Alice, who I just feel really bad for her at the moment because she has no idea what's going on. And I think there's something happened in her past with her sister that's made her run away. I don't know what. Has her sister died? Is it her fault? That's like, I've got some theories. I don't know what's true or not. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I feel like I'm reading it slow. I haven't really annotated much. I think what I'm going to do, I did the same with Addie LaRue. I started annotating and then when I was reading the book, I was just reading the book. I wasn't thinking about annotating things as much unless something really stood out to me. So I'm probably going to go back and annotate this like I planned to do with Addie LaRue. I mean, it's now August and I did plan to do that back in January, but because I wanted to read that book straight away again as soon as I finished reading it. So I have a feeling that's going to happen in this one, to be honest. I feel like I'm going to finish this and want to read it again straight away. It's just giving me the same feeling I felt when I read Addie LaRue, and I took my time with that as well. So yeah, I'm on page 209. I do want to get some more read tonight. I'm just really enjoying it when I am reading it. Okay, I think I've got about 100, I want to say I've got like 160, 170 pages left. I have not annotated in so long because at this point when I'm reading it, I'm just enjoying it. I listened to a lot of the audiobook yesterday and then my Spotify hours ran out, which was very annoying. I can't lie. I feel like I'm off center. Yeah, I did really like the audiobook while I got a chance to actually listen to it, which wasn't for too long. We're finally in Charlotte's chapters, and I really like Charlotte. I really do. Not just because she has the same name as me, but I do. And like the setting we're in, it's like Regency England, so it's feeling very Bridgerton at the minute, which I'm really enjoying. I will say I do not trust Sabine. I don't know what it is about her. I just simply do not trust her currently. I just got a bad feeling about this. I don't know. But also I feel like we've got so many questions, and how are you going to answer them all in this next just under 200 pages? Yeah, I feel like because I'm not like feeling super well within my chronic fatigue at the minute, I'm enjoying reading this book. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm also like struggling to pick it up because I cannot be bothered to do anything, which is really a shame. Maybe I should have waited until I was feeling better to read this so I could experience it better. But also I kind of like that I'm taking my time with it a little bit, but for me to know how well I enjoyed a book, I need to read it quickly. And I don't know why my brain works that way, but the longer it takes me to read a book, the less I know about the book for some reason. But I am really enjoying it. I love the way it's written. I love her writing. And yeah, I just really like being in Charlotte's chapters because, like I say, it's Regency England, and so it's just really giving a Bridgerton vibe right now. And I just find that really fun. So we still have a lot of questions with Alice though. And I feel like Alice's chapters are very short. We don't get a whole lot of Alice, but I think she's next up. I think I have actually only like 1 or 2 more. I have 2 more Charlotte chapters before we're back with Alice. I've got no Sabine chapters left. We're just with Charlotte and Alice for the rest of the book. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, I'm going to try and finish this today. And I will let you know my thoughts when I finished it, unless something really big happens that I need to tell you. Okay, I've literally just finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Cell by V.E. Schwab. I think I'm settling on a 4-star rating for this book. This book is almost as if The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and A Diary of Blood by S.J. Gibson had a baby. Because 2 of the main characters had that similar feeling of what Addie had, where she disagreed with the patriarchy of her time, wanted a different life for herself, had this yearning, had this want for more. The only difference is obviously Addie wasn't a vampire who was going to lose her humanity over time. I think this book tackles vampires in a very unsexy way, and I mean that with compliment. The way it kind of describes and the way it portrays like immortality being not something to be desired, but actually something that is only going to result in you rotting from the inside out, becoming more animalistic, more of a monster, losing more and more of your humanity as the time goes by. And with this insatiable hunger of nothing's ever enough. Like, one of the themes about these vampires is that no matter how much they feed, they never feel full. They're like a bottomless pit of hunger. And that fits so well with these women. Maybe Alice not quite so much. Alice clearly wants more, but for her it's because she's struggling with grief. Whereas I feel like it's less about her herself needing more, and more she's lost currently in her life because of her grief, that yeah, she feels more like lost. Whereas Maria and Charlotte both wanted more, they hungered for more in the same way that Addie does in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And the fact that in turn when they become vampires, I mean for all vampires, their hunger is insatiable. But I just think it's a nice parallel for how they were as humans, having this want for more, this need, to when they're vampires, obviously they have this insatiable hunger. I just really like that parallel. I really like the setting, I like the setup. This book is more of a character study. The plot is fully character driven. There is probably some moments where it is a bit slower than others. I personally didn't mind the pacing at all. I've enjoyed the whole experience of reading the book. I do feel like I wasn't quite as emotionally impacted as I would have liked to have been, which is why it wasn't, even though it gives me the feelings a little bit like Addie LaRue gave me. At the end of the day, I felt so connected to Addie. I was really rooting for her, and I had such an emotional experience at the end of the book. It was no question as to whether it was 5 stars. Whereas none of these girls I had a real emotional connection with, because I wasn't rooting for any of them. At most, I do have a slight feeling of wanting things to work out for Alice. And there was a time throughout this that I wanted things to work out for Charlotte, and then that just kind of went away because there was a lot of things about her character that over time I stopped agreeing with because of how she changed. And then you've got Maria, who just is the toxic lesbian vampire. Like, but even the parallel between Maria and Charlotte becoming this thing that I just feel like the person that Charlotte became was disappointing. So at least the thing with A Diary of Blood, there was a lot of parallels between A Diary of Blood and this book, in terms of, I don't know how to phrase this without spoiling things. I suppose in terms of the relationship between the character and their maker, there was some parallels there, but at least in A Diary of Blood there was a more hopeful ending, and this ending, it's very open-ended. There's definitely, open-ended in the way of there's not a definite of what's gonna happen going forwards. It's fully up to the character what's going to happen now, and it's completely ambiguous in that regard. But I still don't feel like it was a hopeful ending. I don't know. I did enjoy it. I felt like what happened needed to happen, but I also just don't feel fully satisfied. But what I did really love was the writing. It was a lot more flowery, a lot more lyrical than I remember Addie LaRue being. And there, if I was really paying attention to wanting to annotate, I mean, I did start annotating and then I just kind of gave up because I was just reading it and I was just enjoying reading it. And wasn't really bothered about dwelling too much on the writing. I will go back at some point and annotate it, I think, because there was a lot of great writing, a lot of really quotable moments throughout this book, so I really loved the writing. I think the three main characters were really different as well. There were similarities and in their experiences on the whole, not the exact experience, but the feelings and things were very similar between them. And I think they all got turned at the age of 18, which I just think is wild. But they were all very different in themselves. You've got Maria, who was always a bit more cunning, was always planning, and was always scheming as to how to get ahead, as to how to get what she wanted. And then you have Charlotte, who was the more caring, soft-hearted. I would say she's probably the weaker out of the three of them, partly because of her soft heart, but partly because she's very easily led. And then you've got Alice, who is, while a very anxious character and a very insecure in herself character, at the same time actually quite headstrong. But there's something about her character that has this very silent strength. So they did feel like very different women, which I did like. They were very different characters. I just wish we could have maybe explored Alice a bit more, spent more time with Alice. Because it kind of dropped off a little while there. Once we got Charlotte's chapters, Alice kind of was put on the wayside and she was more just a quick little snap back into the future, into present time reprieve in between the heavier stories from the past. But I really recommend this book, I really do. I probably have got more to say and I've completely forgotten. This is the thing though, when we first got Charlotte's chapters and we were in like Regency England, it was a nice little reprieve because it is quite a gothic feeling atmosphere. But the Bridgerton, it was just a nice little reprieve with the Bridgerton vibe of Regency England for a little while there. I just liked it, changed up the tone, it changed up the pacing, made things a little bit more interesting. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I do really recommend this book. I really enjoyed it, like I say, 4 stars. It's a really good gothic atmosphere, like I say, aside from the random Regency Bridgerton vibes in the middle, but I did like that as a reprieve. I like this where it tackles a lot of sort of feminist issues from history and in our current day, and the conversation on what it means to be alive, on what it means to want more in a almost compulsive way, and how constantly wanting and this feeling of nothing ever being enough, and needing and wanting more, and having this insatiable hunger, whether that be for love or quite literally blood or freedom, how that will never be satisfied, and like you would be this never ending pit of hunger. And yeah, just the general conversation about patriarchy, but also, yeah, like I say, it shows a very unsexy side to what being a vampire, potentially, if they were real, would be, and how it's not all sexy, shimmering guys. Not that, okay, listen, I hate that Twilight they shimmered, and I do not think that Edward was sexy in the slightest, but many 13-year-olds at the time did. So yeah, it was a different take on vampires, while maintaining a lot of the integrity of vampires with that like queerness, because vampires are inherently queer, and I loved how that was represented as well through the story and the depictions of morality, and what does it mean once you've hit a certain point where you're just no longer yourself anymore because your whole inside has rotted to the core and you're just not yourself anymore. So yeah, I just think it's got a lot of good conversation in this story, while being a character study following 3 very different women who are experiencing the same thing and handling it very differently. Tomorrow we'll start the next book. I haven't decided. There's 2 options. I think I know which one it's going to be. I'll decide in the morning. So I will see you then for the 3rd and final book of this reading vlog. Okay, I don't think I've actually looked at what I look like in the mirror. So I could look terrible right now. I don't know, and I don't really care. I'm wearing my Certified Tired Girl sweatshirt because I really don't feel well. For those of you who don't know, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, and the last couple of days, well, for the last few weeks, I've not been doing great. But yesterday and today I just especially am not doing great. So I managed to have a shower because I was going to get dressed, but I felt like sweaty and dirty and stinky, and I was like, I don't want to put clean. I just hate it. I felt disgusting. So I forced myself in the shower. I can't be bothered to do my hair, but I feel like cold in the chest. Sometimes I get like symptoms as if I'm coming down with a cold, but I don't actually have a cold, and I don't actually get a cold. I've made a hot matcha, which looks kind of nice. I don't know if you can see. It's a solid caramel one, and I just had, normally I like an ice matcha, but I had no ice and I need to clean my ice tray, so I was like, well, a hot one it is, because also I really wanted a hot drink, and I just feel like the caffeine, but like the calm caffeine of a matcha, I just thought would be ideal. Anyway, obviously it's the next day. We finished Bear Bones and Midnight Star last night, and this morning I started reading Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. So I think it says I'm like 11% through. I'm on chapter 9, 11% in. So I was really looking forward to this one after the last one. Have not been able to find it in store to buy it anywhere. So I thought, it's on KU. I'll read it on there because I've been dying to read it, because it's Alexei and Georgia and they hate each other. They hate each other. I love it. So I'm gonna sit here and just wallow in the fact that I feel like a walking bruise. Like everything hurts, but not enough. I don't talk about my chronic fatigue syndrome very often. I mention it in passing here and there. Is my foot like in frame? I don't know. I hope not. Because I haven't got a lot to say about it. If anyone would ever like me to talk about it, I'm happy to. I just don't feel like anyone cares, which is completely fair enough. Yeah, occasionally I just end up not feeling well. I never feel well, I'll be completely honest with you, and that's partly why I don't bother talking about it, because then I feel like you're harping on. But just, yeah, everything hurts. I feel tender, but not like I need pain meds. Doesn't hurt that bad. It's just like a constant awareness that every nerve in my body feels achy. And sometimes it hurts to stand. It did this morning for a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here, enjoy this, and hope it warms that cold feeling in my chest. And enjoy a nice old spicy hockey romance that's just light and fluffy, and hopefully will just help me take my mind off of the fact that I don't feel well. We're not far into it. We're actually at the wedding. We're at the wedding. That's where we're at. It's a marriage of convenience, if you didn't know what this story is. They hate each other, but Alexei needs a green card and Georgia needs her inheritance for something. So that's where we're at. Okay, do excuse the washing in the background. She has 2 bunnies named Stefan and Damon. I love that. I love her. This is the thing about Georgia. She is a hard worker. Doesn't care if people believe that she's a hard worker or not. Like, cause Alexei does not. He just thinks she's a nepo baby. When she's worked hard for everything she's got and she's confident in that in herself, she doesn't need him to know. So she's a hard worker. She's an ambitious queen. But she also is super girly and loves her designer clothes, loves her Louboutin heels, loves her lingerie for herself. Oh, I love Georgia. She might be my favourite because I just relate. I mean, I'm not like girl bossing my way through being a doctor at a hospital and at a sports team and coaching teenage girls who are recovering from various injuries while also like having a good well-paying job that allows me to have these nice things. However, I love how she's girly and works hard, and so she like treats herself. I love it. But the bunny's called Stefan and Damon. That's a girl after my own heart. That is a girl after my heart. Okay, I'm 35% of the way through the book. The chapter today is short, so I'm on chapter 32 already. I'm really enjoying it, do not get me wrong, but oh my god, the miscommunication is really starting to annoy me now. Him still thinking that she's from a rich upbringing when she wasn't. He's only just found out a couple chapters ago that she doesn't only work part-time for the team and in fact works full-time and doesn't just spend her whole time shopping. I'm guessing their first meeting of her being like, I've recommended you for retirement, I'm not going to be your doctor, and then him saying he told the team captain that she's incompetent. I'm guessing something different. I think there's clearly something more to it, and I think the fact that both of them have this conception of the other one from their first meeting is keeping things like from progressing in any way, and it's starting to get on my nerves. I know we're only 35% of the way through the book, but it's such a point of contention for both of them. Like every time we're in their point of views, they're constantly reminding each other of those things. That's getting a little annoying, but I am still enjoying it. He is an arsehole though, I can't lie. He just is mean. He says things and I just think, wow, that is such a mean thing to say. Like, they both dish it out, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't say Georgia's mean. Not in the same way that Alexei is, and he is like unrelentingly mean. But I think he's just a stupid man that just says stupid things, which, I mean, that's not exactly new or special. 45% in, Alexei has just found out that the whole image he had of her is wrong, and I feel vindicated. Because this man has been an arsehole for no reason. He's so prejudiced. Like, I like Alexei, don't get me wrong. I just think he's a massive arsehole to Georgia for no reason. Because he doesn't know her. He never made an effort to get to know her. So I now feel vindicated now that he knows. It's about time. It is about time. Okay, since we last spoke, I have now 67% of the way through. I apparently have 2 hours and 8 minutes left of the book, so I am going to finish that tonight because it's only 7:30. I've had a nap, I cooked my tea, listened to the whole of Sabrina Carpenter's new album, which came out today. Listen, my favourite is Goodbye, because if anyone knows me, they know I love ABBA. I love ABBA, and it has such an ABBA vibe. But Tears, I need to watch the music video. Listen, it's iconic, but it is wild. Like, I love how she took the tears running down my thigh, like, meme or joke or whatever, and made a song out of it. I just think that's hilarious. It's so good. Anyway, I've got myself a Mars ice cream. I feel like I have a stitch. I haven't done anything but eat, but I have a stitch, so that's weird. Yeah, I'm gonna have my Mars ice cream and finish Gloves Off. Alexei is finally being less of a knob, and he's finally like, I don't know, but I still need that initial, well, it wasn't a miscommunication. She did tell them that she recommends he retires, but I don't know why. She just, even it seems since she joined the team, she hates seeing him specifically get hurt. And he had a really bad concussion, and she was like, I can't be his physician. So I really want to know why. So I'm sure I'm gonna find out in the next 33%. Also, the way he's communicating with her through flowers, and at first it was an inside joke for him, and they were kind of mean, but it was kind of funny. But now that he knows, she knows what the flowers mean, and he's deliberately said, oh, I love it. Love it. Because he's literally just communicating his feelings through flowers. Obsessed. Okay, I finished Gloves Off about half an hour ago. I'm gonna settle on 4 stars. I think this could have been a 5 stars if the first half was like the second half. But I think Alexei was too mean in the first half. Not the good kind of mean, like in a dark romance where it's fine. I just think he sometimes was too mean for no reason. And I didn't like that. There were times where I really just didn't like him. So yeah, I'm settling on a 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I have had the easiest time reading this book today. It's literally like all I've done. And I've just thoroughly enjoyed binge reading it. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. The banter was really good. The tension was really good, especially because they were, while I didn't like how mean he was, they just had really good tension. Once they'd started to realise they might be wrong about each other, and the meanness turned more into banter, they had like some really good tension. And like I say, I loved the banter. I love how he constantly got her flowers because he knew the meanings of them, and he was like communicating how he felt through flowers. I love it. So yeah, 4 stars for Gloves Off. So this is up to date. The next book comes out sometime in the first half of next year. I want to say it's March next year. And I'm looking forward to that one because I'm intrigued. Because the 2 characters seem to have had something going on that no one else knew about. So we'll see what that one's like. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!